This video is to go over the process of how to fire a Skutt Manual Kiln. A couple things you need to realize is I have the switches in the off setting. That's always a good thing to have happen, because when I press this button to turn it on, I don't want to stress out the relays. It's like, you know, at home when you're unplugging things, power goes out, you gotta make sure you unplug things. You don't send jolts of whatever into this kiln, and make sure relays last longer. So you want to do that for sure. So this Skutt 1027 is a manual, and I got 3 switches. They control different levels of inside the kiln. You have a timer here, which is like a backup thing, so that if this cone doesn't work, which we set inside of it, doesn't work, this kind of helps make sure it shuts off if this doesn't drop. It's kind of a backup. So I always set it as close as I can to what the kiln's supposed to be fired to. Here's what we do there. Okay. So this is the process. The first thing you're gonna do is hit the button to turn it on. It might take a little bit of sticking, you might have to press it in there, but then this light should turn on here. The first thing I do when I start is I turn each knob to low. Then I'll come back in a few hours and hit them to medium, a few more hours, and then go to high. When you're doing a bisque fire, you want to let it go about 2 to 3 hours in between each time you turn the knobs. If you're doing a glaze fire, you can go about an hour, hour and a half. It's a little bit shorter of a time. I'm showing you pretty much talking about bisque firing, because the vast majority of you were taking dry pieces of clay like this and making it into actual pottery. So we'll go through that process with you, and you got to make sure they're going to last, things are going to explode, all that stuff as well. So this kind of helps out with that a little bit. Also, at this time when you do start the kiln, if you have a vent overhead that you can turn on, that's when you want to turn this on as well. Once you turn this on, you want to turn the vent on. I'm not turning the vent on here because I'm just doing a demonstration, and also I'm not going to get it up to 1800 degrees, and also you won't be able to hear my voice with that wonderful fan going off. So I'm going to let it sit, come back in a couple hours, and then we'll do this again.
Few hours later.
Here I am back. It's been sitting for a couple hours with the stuff that's in there. It's now time to turn these knobs all to medium. Again, let it sit a couple hours, come back, get the timer going, kiln's going. When it gets probably up in this stage here to medium, you really don't want to touch the outside of this kiln at all, because it will begin to get hot. So that's what will happen, especially for some of you who have your kilns outdoors, it will go hot. That's part of the reason why I always tell people as well, when you do this fire process, let your admin know, and also your janitorial staff know. So if the alarm does go off, it will let them know. I have no idea why they put these alarms right by these kilns, but I think it makes it safer. But these alarms pick up on heat, not actual fire. So it always goes off. So just let them know so they have information there. If you have a fan that you can put in the corner, if your room is big enough, in your small little storage area, I highly recommend put a fan on low. That helps keep the air pushing it out, also up into the ventilation system. So again, I'm gonna come back in a couple hours and do this kiln on high.
Few hours later.
Here I am at the end of my day. Kiln's been firing, a couple more hours in. In between my classes, I come out and I turn this up to high. You'll hear the kiln begin to crank up more. Those elements really start to push heat out, and this will burn up in the kiln, get it really super hot. The insulation was really important in these kilns. The coils just build up heat over time. It's a steady heat buildup. The insulation in this kiln keeps the heat going very well. So that's what's happening there. Now let this sit until it shuts off. Either this will turn off, or this cone will drop when it reaches temperature. And that's pretty much what the fire. I also recommend when you're done firing your kiln, let it sit about 24 hours before you unload it. That makes sure everything is properly cool and ready to go. Good luck on your firing, and may the process go really easy for you. And again, if you have a Skutt, I'll tell you this right now, call and ask Skutt questions. They will answer them for you. All right? Good luck this year and firing your kiln at your school.